Hey guys. All right, so here we are on our next part of Hate That Cat by Sharon Creech. And um, yesterday, Jack had just written that poem using the metaphor about the black kitten being a poet leaping from line to line. So he used a metaphor and then he kind of turned it into a concrete poem with the way he kind of shaped the words. So here we go. January 31st. Well, no, don't put it on the board because now that I read it again, it doesn't make sense. I know what I was trying to say, but I didn't get it right. The kitten is a poet. It's something I feel, but I can't get it into words. A good poet would be able to paint with words things that you can feel but don't know how to say. It's sort of like when my mother puts one hand on my back and one hand on my chest. To hear me laughing or to feel me laughing, because then she understands what my laughing sounds like and feels like. She can see me laugh and she can sign the word for laugh, but she cannot hear the laugh. Yesterday, she put one hand on Skitter's back and one hand on her stomach so she could hear the purr. I cannot explain a purr, just like I cannot explain why the kitten is a poet, but she is. And I cannot explain how my mother paints words with her hands, but she does. And I cannot explain how, when we paint words with each other, I hear sounds, but I do not know if she hears anything. Any strange or amazing or good or terrible or sparking or fizzing sound at all. So I love that one, how Jack says he's not a good poet and says he just doesn't know how to paint with words. But then he says all that about his mom and hearing and feeling for her words that she can't hear, but then she can understand, right? And how she can paint words with her hands. And I think Jack is a much better poet than he thinks, don't you? February 7th. Now this is a new version of a So Much Depends Upon poem that Jack has written, kind of combining it with a concrete poem. So I'll read it to you like this so you can see it. February 7th. So much depends upon hands waving in the air making words without sounds. I like that. Ooh, another concrete poem. February 11th. My Yellow Chair by Jack. Low chair, yellow chair, yellow chair, yellow, yellow chair, yellow chair, yellow chair, yellow, squishy soft, squishy soft, squishy soft, squish, soft squish, squishy soft, little hole, squishy soft, squishy, squishy soft, little hole, squishy soft, squishy, rounded, squish, 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 silent, rounded, arm, squishy soft, squishy arm, squishy soft, yellow fur, squishy arm, seat, squish, black fur, arm, seat, squishy seat, arm, squishy seat, yellow fur, squishy seat, silent, leg. Did you notice how both Sky and Skitter McKitter were in that poem somewhere? I like that. February 14th. And actually, maybe Jack's mom was in there too. February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day! I liked when you said we could try turning the metaphors upside down or inside out. And I liked when you used my chair poem as an example. So instead of saying the chair is like a pleasingly plump mama, we could try my mama is like a pleasingly plump chair. Except that now everyone thinks My mother is very plump and looks like a chair. So that's kind of cool. So maybe you can think back to the simile or metaphor that you created and try to turn it inside out. So maybe we'll do that. And it doesn't mean the same when you turn them around, because while the chair is a lot like a plump mama, my own mother is like so much more than a chair. February 21st. Well, okay, I will try it. Here goes. My mother is like a plump chair, all squishy soft and huggy when you sit in her lap. Just so you know, I am too old to sit in her lap. I'm just saying this for the poem. Her arms hold you in so you won't fall and will feel safe. And she has sturdy legs. Although, I want to make it clear that my real mother has 2 legs, not 4, and a straight back. She is proud, but not too proud, and she is there waiting for me, always quietly waiting for me. End of poem. So here's the problem. My real mother can't always be waiting for me because she works at night, and my mother doesn't sit in the same place day in and day out like a chair does. She is always moving. Oops, hold on, Griffey, he's barking. She is always moving, her hands waving in the air, talking to us with those hands. I think he really likes those concrete poems because he's using a lot of that technique, especially when talking about his mom. And she isn't plump at all. And like I said, she has 2 legs, not 4. And so really, she is not very much like a chair at all. I will never be a real poet. What do you think? Do you think that Jack is a real poet? Why or why not? I think that has to be one of our questions this week. And I also think that you can see that Jack really likes some particular techniques that poets use more than others. I think we can see his favorites. I wonder what your favorites are. So maybe that can be a question too. February 25th. Today, the fat black cat up in the tree by the bus stop dropped a nut on my head. Thunk. And when I yelled at it, that fat black cat said, "Murr, meow," in a nasty, spiteful way. I hate that cat. So what technique is Jack using here with his thunk and murr, meow? Onomatopoeia. You guys know it. Also, even in his first line here, fat black cat. What technique is he using there? Assonance. He's using those same repeated vowel sounds there. You've got it. February 28th. I am getting a little worried about poor Mr. William Carlos Williams. Is he alive? I think there's a mistake there in the book, because obviously Jack knows he's alive. He's getting postcards from him. I mean, first, there was a poem about the red wheelbarrow and the red wheelbarrow and the chicky chickens. And it's true, I like that poem now. It grows on you. But those 2 poems about the plums? Lots of question marks and exclamation points here. I think Caitlin was crying because she felt stupid. And to tell you the truth, I felt stupid too, because even though those were nice little thingies that Mr. William Carlos Williams said about the sweet plums and the old lady, and even though I could see little pictures in my mind when you were reading the plum poems, it would be very, very hard to explain to my Uncle Bill why those are poems and not little notes scribbled on scrap paper. And did you notice that Mr. William Carlos Williams did not use much in the way of alliteration or onomatopoeia, or simile, or metaphor. Did you notice that? All right, well, we better check out these little not much of anything poems that Jack says that have been written also by Mr. William Carlos Williams. So here they are, both kind of short and sweet. You can see one has 3 stanzas, the other has 4. This first one is called This Is Just to Say by William Carlos Williams. I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me. They were so delicious, so sweet, and so cold. Okay, what do you think? Poem? Not poem? What do you think might make that a poem or not? The next one is called To a Poor Old Woman by William Carlos Williams. Munching a plum on the street, a paper bag of them in her hand. They taste good to her. They taste good to her. They taste good to her. You can see it by the way she gives herself to the one half sucked out in her hand. Comforted, a solace of ripe plums seeming to fill the air. They taste good to her. Okay. So Jack says, oh, not really poems, according to him, even though he did say he could see the little pictures in his mind. So what do you think? I think I'm going to have to ask your opinion on that. So why might William Carlos Williams have written a poem like that? This Is Just to Say, or the To a Poor Old Woman. Well, Jack has written one of his own. March 6th. This morning, I left a note for my mother. This is just to say. I have eaten the pudding that was in the fridge, and which you were maybe saving for dessert. Forgive me. It was so yum, so thick, so creamy. Might your mother forgive you if you ate the leftover pudding? If you wrote her a note, a poem like that to apologize? I think we should write a This Is Just to Say poem ourselves this week. March 7th. Those non-poems of Cuckoo Mr. William Carlos Williams are running in my head. Mom in the Kitchen, inspired by Mr. William Carlos Williams by Jack. Crunching on a pickle in the middle of the room, juice running down her arm. It tastes good to her. It tastes good to her. It tastes good to her. You can tell by the way she closes her eyes and licks her lips and then her arm. Refreshed, a song of dill pickles filling the air. It tastes good to her. So now that Jack has written this non-poem about something as simple as eating a pickle, about his mom, what might you and Jack think a little bit more about those non-poems? Like, what was the point of them? What was William Carlos Williams trying to do by writing those poems? What was Jack trying to do by writing those non-poems? So that's what we're going to think about in our answers for this section. Do we think they're poems? Why or why not? And maybe let's try to write a couple of non-poems ourselves about things that are maybe pretty simple, about someone in our house, just doing something pretty simple. Try to make it about your mom if you want to. Mother's Day is coming up. Moms like poems. All right. See you soon.